So I believe Razer just changed the game. I'll tell you why. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome to IBCade. Today we have a very special Huntsman V2 analog keyboard here for you. And I'm sorry about the condition of the box. There's this ugly tape. This is how it was delivered to me, but it's okay. I'm going to be throwing away the box anyways. The important thing about this is that this is Razer's first analog switch. Now, this is not the first analog switch out there. There's other keyboard manufacturers who are doing this. It's getting popular. There's a company called Wooting, and Wooting 1, Wooting 2, these keyboards are popular with this. So this is Razer's first analog keyboard, and being such a huge company for gaming, I think this is going to change the game, and many other companies are going to follow suit, and we're going to be talking about all of that. But before, let's open this box and see what's inside. Now, this isn't really a true unboxing video. I just want to at least show you what a $250 Razer keyboard box has, and as you can see, instructions right here. It's like only one page only in English. The rest are all different languages, so not much there. And there's also a sticker that came with it. So if you're into stickers, this is what you're gonna get: the snake, the Razer Chroma. It's pretty simple, but hey, at least they give you stickers. Okay, so let's lift this tab right here, and here it is. Got your cords right here. Alright, taking it out of the box wasn't so easy, but here we go. This is what we got. Okay, we got some protective covers. And there it is. Keyboard, extra protection, all your cords, and the fancy wrist mat. Okay, so this should be also RGB. Alright, so I've taken out everything from the box. Let's get rid of the box. Bye box. And let's say hello to the actual keyboard, alright? There it is, guys. Alright, so this is the first impression that I get. Very clean, standard Razer keyboard. There is your wrist pad right there. You got grips in the center here, so if you put them on a table like this, they do not move. Like, they won't move. It's already stuck. So that's very good. You don't want these moving around. Now let's flip it on this side right here. So pretty thick keyboard. Traditionally it's very high. That's probably why you want this wrist pad. Same thing right here. We got protections right here. We got the rubber feet right there, and we got your pedestal with several levels right here, full level, and of course level 2 right there. Okay, so that's what you can use depending on how you like your stance. All right, but very traditional. Nothing surprising here. Huntsman on analog V2. Alright, so as you guys know, Razer has a magnetic keyboard, and because of this, it's able to do RGB lighting around the edges of the wrist pad, which is pretty sophisticated. Other manufacturers just give a wrist pad, and basically what you do is you lock it in to the keyboard like that, and it snaps in kind of as magnets easily do. So that's very straightforward. And what I really like is when you put these two combinations together, I can already tell it's very sturdy. Like if I move this, the table moves. So you're not going to move these around, and that's what you want. You want a keyboard that's solid and does not move around. So definitely points for that. Next thing we want to talk about is the cables. So if you want this and you have a USB-C cable on your computer, you just plug this in, and that's all you need to make it work. All right. Now the second cable that you have right here is a USB 3.0 pass-through. So if you have a USB 3.0 pass-through, that's also going to work great for this. And the pass-through is right there on the side of the keyboard. Okay, right there. So I like that pass-through being there. And if you don't have anything, they do even give you a converter. So here is USB-C, you plug that adapter in there, and then you plug this to your computer port, and it should work. So they got you covered whether you have USB-C or USB-C 3.0. All right, so that's what we get for a connection. Okay, so now I've connected it to my laptop, and this is the beginning colors that we get. Very nice. You know, I like this dial right here that we get. This is kind of typical Razer. You'll see it in other keyboards. And you get their nice glow. And it creates a nice even glow around your laptop. Right now it's kind of bright in my room, but if you were to turn off your lights, it will look very pleasant. And there is your USB 3.0 pass-through right there. And this is the profile of the entire keyboard. And as you can see, the lighting looks spectacular. I really think Razer does a great job doing this with their wrist pad. Other companies just give plain Jane wrist pads with no lighting, and they really go a step further. So good job, Razer. This is how to do it correctly, and this is how you do it right. And I always like the aesthetics of this. Now here's an example of this beautiful keyboard at night. Look how it glows across my desk. Truly pretty. That's the best way to describe this. And as you guys know, you can change all the colors to chroma. This is just the standard. You can make every single possible color that you can imagine through the chroma software. And that's what Razer is really good at. So just customize it to your heart's content. But this is how it looks at night. Now if you detach the wrist pad, no problem. There's chroma lights even in the front of the keyboard that lights it up, so it still looks good. I wouldn't recommend using this without the wrist pad, but just telling you that Razer thought everything through. The lights continue and it looks fantastic. Now let's talk about the wrist pad a little bit. So usually the wrist pad that comes with other keyboards is just a plain Jane, no color, nothing. Like this one is from Logitech. And I like it, but you know, it's not, once you put a wrist pad right here, of course the edges don't really glow up, so you have that missing. But with this particular wrist pad that we get, it's very nice. I wish other manufacturers would also kind of adopt this kind of wrist pad. And check that out. The strip bar goes all the way over here on the back end, which is another attention to detail that Razer puts out. So that's the difference between your regular ones and your non. And look at the thickness. Let's see if I could get this thickness right here. There it is. So you can see the thickness difference. And you're gonna really need this wrist pad for your Razer, just because the keyboard is much more higher up. So that's you can tell definitely there's a difference right there, the thickness, right? All right, but the length is similar. Okay, so I really like their wrist pad. Now, as for the keycaps go, these are double shot PBT keycaps, all right? So if you touch them, they're a little bit matte right here. So it's not smooth, and I like that. I like that because it kind of stops oil from getting into your keyboard, whereas other keyboards, they can have much more smooth surfaces, causing oils to build up. Now here's a difference of how the smooth keycaps versus a rough one sounds. This is the matte rough. And the Logitech is much smoother. So yeah, you can definitely tell. And when you start typing on the smooth keyboard on Logitech, the oils definitely get on the keyboard, which is annoying. You have to wipe it down. Whereas on the Razer, no matter how much you type, so far I have not gotten that much oil. I mean, eventually it gets there, but it's more crisp and clean at the end of the day. So I like that. Again, this is after using it for some time. You can see how clean the keycaps are. And if you look closely, you can see the texture of it. It's matte. So when you type or when you game and your palms get sweaty or your fingers get sweaty, you're still going to have grip. And that's very important for a gaming keyboard. And I love how Razer incorporated that into these keycaps. And these keycaps are very solid. They're going to last for a long time. Pretty reliable. Next, I'm going to see how this key sounds. We're going to see how the stabilizer goes for the space bar, how sound it is, and just destroy the keys. So it's going to get loud, but have fun. Notice how your media buttons don't light up? That's just the way it is. So this is unnatural by default, but when you do the dial and you go clockwise, the volume actually tries to go up, whereas it should be going down. And counterclockwise, it should be going up. So you can change it in your Synapse, but it's backwards. Next, let's check the stabilizers of the spacebar and the keys. Next, we have the indicator lights on these Razer keyboards. So let's take a close look at what we got. We got C for caps lock, 1 for num lock, S for scroll lock, M for memory, and G for gaming. And you can just turn on a few of these by pressing the function button and pressing the M, which is cool, which is a red right there. And then there's gaming and then scroll lock. Those are all separate. Okay, so that's how you turn on all these indicators, and they're very helpful, and I'm glad that they have a lot. Most keyboards just have 3. Now let's talk about actually depressing these keys. Something to note about this is that they're pretty heavy. If you're coming from a much lighter key switch, such as KO Silver Speeds, any type of red, linear, even clickies, just mainstream gaming keyboard keys, you're gonna notice that these are pretty heavy when you depress them. And Razer kind of is quiet on how much weight the actuation is. I'm guessing 70 grams on this. There's no actual numbers. But the thing is, after typing, your hands start to hurt, your fingers start to hurt if you type all day. And that's where I'm not a fan of this keyboard, because I type a lot for my work. And after typing it all day, I noticed that my hands were worn out. Now, I know that Razer did this on purpose, or at least I speculate they did this on purpose. You know, it's not to make your fingers hurt. It's because the way that these actuation keys are, because they're able to get actuated on a certain millimeter distance, if it's too light, that's not going to work out well. It's going to be too easy to go all the way down, and that's what these keys are all about. Dynamically changing actuation length. So let's talk about that. The most important thing about this keyboard is its dynamic actuation keys. And what that means is basically we get three types of functions with these keys. The first is the adjustable actuation. Now from the Razer website, they say that you can do this and get a response of 1.5 millimeter height all the way to 3.6 millimeter actuation. And you can depress how much you want just to show where you want the actuation to click and where to let go. Here's an example of me depressing a button, and you can see on the Synapse that it measures, right? You can see that little bar from 1.5 to 3.6, and it shows how much actuation there is by measuring it, and that's really neat. This is a game changer, all right? You can do so many things with this in games. Like if I had this when I was 17, man, I'd be killing it. Anyways, back to this. So that's what you can do. Now the next two things I want to talk about in tandem, and this is what I'm talking about game changer. There's analog input and dual step actuation. Now with the analog input, you can do 360 movement, very fine movement from walking to running in Fortnite. All you Fortnite people love this with the Wu-Tang 1 keyboard previously, but Razer is a big company and they're introducing this into their line. So this is going to be huge for gamers out there. That's why I say it's game changing. And now you have dual step actuation. What this means is you can set two functions with one key press. This is not a macro, this is actually hardwired into your keyboard. And so this, frankly, you can do so many things. Again, if I had this when I was younger, man, it'd be amazing. You can throw a grenade, you can activate a grenade, throw it at the same time. If you're in a racing game, you can drift, slow down, like you could turn and hit the brakes at the same time. You could do so many creative things with this. It's almost like cheating, and I'm wondering what Epic is going to do once these keyboards start flooding the market. I mean, if you get this now, you do have an advantage over other players. If you say you don't, then you don't know how to use this keyboard, or you're not that good in my opinion. You do have an advantage. And if you get better and good at it and you really get used to these fine controls, you're going to be winning games. And I think that is clearly why this keyboard was made. It's an extra step. Now it does require skills. You're not just gonna do this automatically. It does require skills, but once you get used to it and can play with the range of motions, the variations of your key press, going into a game is gonna be a game changer. And this is precisely the only reason why you want this expensive $250 keyboard. That's the finale. You buy this because you want that slight advantage when you play games like Fortnite, Call of Duty, racing games. This is going to help you. And there's so many creative and imaginative ways you can use this. I can't list everything here, but if I was you and I was a serious gamer, I'd think about it. I know it's a steep price. It's much more expensive than other analog keyboards, but it's Razer, so you know you're getting quality. So one cool thing to tell you about this is the Synapse lets you configure each of these keys like that. You can do a variable actuation for every key. And I think you'll have like millions of possibilities, and it's crazy if you're going to remember all of it. But one thing that I think they missed is there's no grouping. Like, come on, sometimes you want to group your keys, right? Instead, it's all or nothing. Like you can do everything the same way, or you gotta do individual keys. So I think they can do this with software updates, group it up, but as of now, I can't find a way to group it. That's one thing that I missed. You can just select the keys like this and choose your actuation force. Releasing it, actuating it, you can do all sorts of things. Right here. And one thing is, once you have the actuation down, your custom release, it can't go further than what you've done. So when you set it up, that's about as much as you can go, and then it will release on its own, which is the right way to do it. It's a smart way to do it. That's how you set this up for each individual key. So Razer, if you're listening to this, please come up with groupings, and I think that'll help a lot of players out there. All right. Okay, so last but not least, thank you guys for watching this video. I know it's been kind of long, and I really want to cover everything, be thorough with this. This is an expensive keyboard, and if you're in the market for this, you're the type of person who wants to make sure that you're getting the best keyboard for $250, because that's no joke. And with that, I will say that this is a keyboard for gamers. As a typing enthusiast, or if you're a coder and that's all you do, I don't see why you should get this keyboard. I'll show you guys how this keyboard sounds as a final part of the video. Just enjoy what I type, or the message at least of what I type. And I hope you guys have a good day. Stay safe. If you guys like this video, please like and subscribe. It was really a lot of effort into this video, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And if you can just like for me, that helped me out a lot. Crush that like button. All right, see you in the next video.